Excellent. I think we are live now. I can see people are joining, which is amazing. Hello, everyone. Greetings from the UK. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today. My name is Dagina Weatheril, and I'm the Director of Recruitment at Global University Systems in Uni UK Division, overseeing international students recruitment for a number of our UK partner universities. And today, I'm extremely excited to talk about one of our premium partner university, University of Gloucestershire. And we specifically will be covering the School of Engineering at the university. I am joined by colleagues from the university. We have Chris and Rehab from the academic team at Gloucestershire. Hello, thank you so much for joining. And we have Carla, who is the Regional Manager at the University of Gloucestershire, overseeing South Asia. Hi, Carla, thank you for joining.
Hi, Dagina.
Thanks. Hi. And we have marketing team supporting us, Anant and Archana. Thank you, everyone. Just a few housekeeping rules before we start. So you're all on mute. If you do have any questions, feel free to ask them. Just pop them into the Q&A section, please. And it's better if you do leave them at the Q&A section rather than within the chat. So we'll pick them up later from there. Other than that, sit back and enjoy, and we hope you find this webinar really useful and inspiring. And if you are a student looking to come to Gloucestershire this September, feel free to address any questions you may have to our academics and Carla, and we'll take that from there. Thank you, everyone, and over to you, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah,
so hopefully you can see the presentation. Has that come up? Is that okay?
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. And this is the Postgraduate Engineering webinar for Global University Systems, the University of Gloucestershire. And primarily today, it is organised by myself, Dr. Chris Gould, and my colleague, Dr. Rehab Al-Siyab. So we just want to start with a little introduction so that you can understand who we are. So I am the academic subject leader for engineering and technology at the University of Gloucestershire. And my background is predominantly in the electrical and electronic engineering area. And I'll just briefly go over my education. So I studied a BEng honours degree in electronic engineering, and then I did an MBA. And then I completed my PhD in electrical electronic engineering in the area of thermoelectricity and energy harvesting. I hold a teaching qualification at PGCE, and as part of my PhD, I did a PGCRM, that's a research qualification as part of the PhD. I'm also a registered chartered engineer, and I'm a chartered manager. And through my teaching qualification at PGCE, I'm also a senior fellow of the Higher Education Academy. I'm a member of the Institute of Engineering and Technology. I'm a senior member of the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, and I'm a fellow of the Chartered Management Institute. I started my career actually as an apprentice for Texas Instruments, quite a very large electronic semiconductor company, and I was in the manufacturing engineering side, and I was doing process engineering, so that's sort of diffusion, process engineering. So that's really where you set up the manufacturing process and sustain it and make certain that we're making very, very good products. And I stayed in that Texas Instruments for about 8 years. And then I started to move a little bit more commercial. So I moved into applications engineering, sales and marketing in the semiconductor industry. And I stayed about 16 years in the semiconductor industry, working for all sorts of different companies like Toshiba, NEC, Burr Brown, National Semiconductor, Texas Instruments. But eventually I decided that I wanted to move out of industry. So I left the semiconductor industry and I moved into education. Initially, I moved into a college where I did my teacher training, and I was teaching electronics. And then I went into teaching in a university, and I've been teaching electrical and electronic engineering now for about 18 years, I think. So I've been quite a long time in education now. Sorry, 19 years now. And then I've sort of moved from one university to another, and I'm now at the University of Gloucestershire as the academic subject leader for engineering and technology. So my research is in the area of thermal electricity and energy harvesting, power electronics, and sort of renewable and sustainable energy. So that's a little bit about myself, and I'll now pass you across through to my colleague, Rehab.
Hi everybody, my name is Rehab El-Sayed. I am originally electrical engineer. I finished my BSc in 1987 in electronics systems. And after a few years, I complete my master degree in the same area. I work at that time as an instructor in the labs, and then I moved to another position, which is lecturer, to teach many courses for undergraduate in the University of Basra in Iraq. Then I moved to UK and I started my PhD in the Cranfield University at 2006 in the subject of process control. My thesis title was Nonlinear Model Predictive Control using Automatic Differentiation. And after a few years, I decided to do another PhD, which is EPSRC scholarship in the subject of optoelectronics and semiconductor lasers in the University of Essex. I occupied many positions in academia, starting from 1992 as instructor in lab, and then lecturer, and then senior lecturer. I work in many universities abroad and in UK, like Cranfield University, University of Essex in UK. In Oman, I was principal lecturer and deputy head of the Department of System Engineering in the Military Technological College. I have many publications in the area of electrical and electronics engineering and process control. I joined the University of Gloucestershire at 2019 and work as senior lecturer and academic course leader for the postgraduate program. I have many research published in IEEE journals and conferences in Japan and USA and Europe. So I will be the academic course leader for the postgraduate program in our university. In addition, I will teach some of modules for the postgraduate in the subject of electrical and electronics and process control. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rehab. And David isn't with us today, but David Plummer is the academic course leader for the undergraduate program, and you have David's contact details there if you're interested in our undergraduate courses. Our campuses, we have 4 main campuses. We have the Oxtalls campus, where we have business, accounting, law, sports, health, social care, events, hospitality, and performing arts courses. We have Francis Close Hall, where we have education, humanities, art and natural and social sciences. And then we have the Hardwick Centre for film and photography, so it's fine art and photography. The campus that you'll be based on if you're joining us for engineering is the Park campus, and that holds computing, engineering, design and media. And it's called Park campus because it's actually a very green campus. So we have a lot of green spaces here, lots of nice trees and areas to go. And I think originally it was a zoological garden before it was gifted across to become a college and then a university. So if you like a university campus feel, lots and lots of spaces around, then the Park campus is ideal. We just wanted to answer the question, why should you study engineering? Well, really, if you study engineering, you should be employable. Engineers and technicians are among the most in-demand jobs in the world. There's around about 1.82 million, the number of people with engineering skills needed by engineering companies between 2012 and 2022. So there should be a significant number of vacancies there for you to be able to apply to, get the role that you want. And engineering itself is a fantastic and interesting career to go into. So the number of graduates and apprentices entering the engineering industry needs to be doubled by 2025. So you can find that the workforce is coming towards the end of their working career in a number of disciplines within engineering, and we need new people to come in to fill those vacancies. So one of the really good attractions for engineering, apart from the fact that it's very interesting, is you're very employable if you do an engineering qualification. And as I say, it's interesting, challenging and fun. And if you have an interest in seeing how things work or problem solving, then engineering is really the career for you. Career options, we could be here talking all the time, but we'll just mention some standard ones. Clearly, you can be an electrical engineer, an academic research professional, an industrial control engineer, take your studies further through to doctoral level, industrial systems engineer, mechatronics engineer, systems engineer. There's all sorts of different specific areas of engineering you can go into with the courses that we offer. And you can look further away from that. If you have a technical qualification in engineering, but you didn't want to do the engineering itself, there's always the support groups around there. There's the marketing, the sales, the applications engineering. So really, in any industry that you look at, there will always be these functions, and engineering has them as well. And then if you're interested in the actual engineering technical side of it, then the specific roles that you can clearly go into. A product designer, another one on there. So we haven't listed them all. I'm sure you've got a general idea of where you can go with engineering. So we just put a few up there. So I'm going to pass across to Rehab to now explain the MSc Engineering courses that we offer at the University of Gloucestershire.
We have 3 programs we will run in the coming academic year. The first program is MSc in Mechatronic Engineering, and the second program is Electrical and Electronics Engineering, and the third one, Engineering Management. We have a plan also to develop a new course or a new program for 2023-24 entry, which is titled Sustainable and Renewable Engineering. Next, please. We will start with the MSc Mechatronic Engineering program. There are many advantages to study this course because this course will develop the applicant understanding of key aspects of mechatronic and robotics and how they fit into the context of the full range of industrial sectors and rapidly development everyday applications, especially Industry 4 and Internet of Things. So this course also provides excellent preparation for those applicants who want to complete their study and get the doctoral level degree. Next, please. So the career, after you complete this course, you have opportunity to get to improve your career in the area of mechatronic as a mechatronic engineer, industrial system engineer, industrial control engineer, or academic research professional or doctoral student. Next, please. Yeah. So this is our courses in this program. We have 9 modules. We have common modules and we have individual modules. The common modules start with EG 7112 System Engineering. Then the dissertation module EG 7110. We have module in Industrial Engineering EG 7103. Module Systems and Project Management EG 7109. Module Engineering Leadership and Enterprise EG 7111. Then we have Emerging Technologies and Sustainability EG 7201. We have module called Modeling, Simulation and Visualization EG 7102. And for this program, we have 2 individual modules, EG 7101, which is Robotic Engineering, and EG 7105, Machine Learning. Next, please. So this is the mechatronic course map. Each student should complete 180 credit points. So in semester 1, the student will study 4 modules: robotics engineering, modeling, simulation and virtualization, industrial engineering, and engineering leadership and enterprise. So each module has 15 credit points. In semester 2, the student will study 4 modules, one of them individual machine learning, and other 3 are common modules, e.g. 7201 emerging technology and sustainability, system engineering, and system and project management. And the dissertation module will be run in semester 2 and 3. The code is EG 7110. And this module, the credit is 60 credit point. So in total, the credit point will be 180. Next, please. So this is each module and the teaching staff. So for robotic engineering, we have Dr. Benzili. His specialty is mechatronic and robotics. Modeling, simulation, and visualization. I will teach this module in semester 1. Industrial engineering, we have Professor Shijin, which is his specialty is mechanical engineering and business. Engineering leadership and enterprise, David Blummer. Machine learning, again, Dr. Benzili. Emerging technologies and sustainability, Dr. Chris. System engineering, Benzi, Dr. Benzi. System and project management, Professor Shijin. And engineering research project dissertation, the module tutor will be also Professor Shijin, and the supervisors will be our team. Next, please. The second program is Msc Electrical and Electronics Engineering. So this MSc program is very important now because the electronic industry continues to grow worldwide, and the need for industry to move to net zero to combat climate change make this course highly demanded for electrical and electronics engineering graduate, and the graduate can get very good position after he complete his MSc with us. So this course offers a healthy balance between theory and practice. We have many labs in electronics and electrical engineering with the aim of producing a graduate who can play leading roles in industry. The course will develop your applicant understanding of key aspects of electrical and electronics engineering and explore how they fit into the context of industrial sectors and rapidly developing everyday applications. Next, please. The career for this, after complete this program, the career can be electrical engineer, electronic system engineer, industrial control engineer, mechatronic engineer, renewable engineering, and academic research professional or doctoral student. Next. We have again 9 modules. The 9 modules, some of them common and some of them individual. We have the common modules are system engineering, the dissertation module, industrial engineering, systems and project management, engineering leadership and enterprise, emerging technologies and sustainable, and modeling, simulation, and visualization. We have 2 individual modules, EG 7803, Advanced Power Electronics, and we have EG 7802, Advanced Electronics Circuit Design. So each module, except the dissertation one, has 15 credit points, and the dissertation module, which is EG 7110, the credit is 60 credit points. So in total, again, it is 180 credit. Next, please. So the team who will teach these courses, Advanced Electronic Circuit Design, it is myself, modeling, simulation, and visualization. I will teach this module as well. Industrial engineering, Professor Shijin. Engineering leadership and enterprise, David Blummer. Advanced power electronics, Dr. Chris. Emerging Technologies and Sustainability, again, Dr. Chris. System Engineering, Dr. Benzi, and System and Project Management, Professor Shijan, and the dissertation module also will be led by Professor Shijan, and the supervisors will be our team. Next, please. The third program we will run in the next academic year is MSc in Engineering Management. So an engineering management skills is now highly demanded in the market. For this reason, we have many applicants for the previous 2 years in this program because engineering management skills are in high demand, both within UK and abroad. This course will prepare you for a professional position in the expanding industry. This course will equip you with the necessary knowledge and the skills for engineering management to advance your career and to make you a leader or a project manager in the future within a competitive international engineering environment. Your career can be, after you complete this program, in industrial engineer, industrial manager, academic research professional, or doctoral student. Next. Yeah, again, we have 9 modules. The 9 modules, some of them common, some of them individual. In this program, we have a number of common modules like emerging technologies and sustainability, the dissertation module, industrial engineering module, and systems and project management module. And we have also engineering leadership and enterprise. For the individual here, we have 4 individual courses instead of just 2, comparing with the previous 2 programs, like EG 7503, operational management, EG 7504, supply chain management, EG 7501, engineering management, decision and statistics, and EG 7505, financial management for engineers. So this is the map of the course for engineering management course. Again, the student, to get the degree, he should complete 180 credit point. In semester 1, we will teach operations management, supply chain management, industrial engineering, and engineering leadership and enterprise. In semester 2, we will run engineering management, decision and statistics, financial management for engineers, emerging technology and sustainability, and system and project management. And in semester 2 and 3, module EG 7113, which is the dissertation module. The title is Engineering Management Research Project Dissertation, will be run during semester 2 and semester 3. The credit point for this module is 60, however, the other modules, each one 15 credit point. In total, it will be 180 credit point. Next, please. So the staff who will teach these modules for operation management, we have Professor Riyad Arabih. His specialty is mechanical engineering and engineering management. Supply chain management, again, the same tutor, Professor Riyad Arabih. Modeling, simulation, and visualization, which is myself. Industrial engineering, Professor Shijan. Engineering leadership and enterprise, David Blummer. And engineering management, decision and statistics, Professor Riyad Arabih. Financial management for engineers, Dr. Chris, and emerging technologies and sustainability, Dr. Chris. System and project management, Professor Shijan. And engineering research project dissertation module will be led by Professor Shijan and number of our staff as supervisors. Next.
Thank you, Rehab. We just want to talk a little bit now about some of our industry links. So you've seen the core structures now on the MSc program. To support the delivery of the courses, we've established an industry advisory board with leading local companies to ensure our courses are industry relevant. So companies like Spirit Sarco, ABB, Doughty that you can see on the slide here, they're members of our industrial advisory board, and their role is to look at what we're doing and to positively critique it, to say that for industry we need this type of skill set in a graduate and a postgraduate. And we try to take that advice on board and incorporate it on our courses if we can. So it's an advisory board. It tells us if what we're doing is good, it tells us what we need to improve, and it tells us what they want in a graduate and a postgraduate for employment purposes if they were going into their companies. So it's a good thing for us to have, and it helps us to ensure that once you graduate, you should be employable in the industry you're trying to go into. And you will have an opportunity on your course to practice your skills and knowledge with local employers. So we will be able to arrange guest speakers on some of your modules and some other type of engagement that you will have, and possibly internships with these companies. So ABB, Moog, SC Group, Spirit Sarco, Doughty Propeller, Colomera, Total Metal Products. And there are a number of others. We haven't shown them all here, but if you want to look up their names, you probably recognize some of them like ABB, Doughty, and perhaps Spirit Sarco. And if you look up the others, you'll find that most of them are quite big multinational companies that would employ a lot of postgraduate and undergraduate engineers. And we maintain links with them so that we make certain that you are employable when you graduate from our courses. And also, we want you to engage in an early stage in your academic career with external companies so that you can form the links that you need to be able to progress your professional career later. Now, in actual fact, I don't think I put it on the slides for you to see today, but we also maintain links with the professional institutions. So we maintain links with the Institute of Engineering and Technology, the IMEC, the Institute of Mechanical Engineers, the Royal Society of Aeronautical Engineering, actually, and we also maintain links with the Chartered Management Institute. So you have the professional institutions link, and you have the industry and local partners within our area. So common questions, I'll pass you back to Rehab.
Okay, so the student maybe have some common question. What module shall I study? How many days will I have to be in? And why should I choose the course at the University of Gloucestershire? The answers for all these questions, I think about the modules, we already covered that in the previous slides, but we can also give you more information in the next slide. So next, please. Next. Yeah. So modules will be delivered through a series of lectures covering the core concept and material, and will be developed further in using workshop, simulation workshop, for example, and laboratory sessions, where students will complete a number of associated and linked practical tasks. So the group work brings together engineers from a variety of backgrounds to shape a project and tasks also in all of our modules. Next, please. So this is the assessment strategy for our programs for MSc Mechatronic. As we said, we have 9 modules, some of them common and some of them individual. So the assessment type for the individual modules like EG 7101, robotic engineering, we have exam 50% from the mark, and coursework, which is covered 50% of the mark. We have another module also need exam and coursework, which is in semester 2, EG 7105, machine learning. We have 50% of the mark cover the exam and 50% of the mark coursework. Other modules will be only coursework, which is cover the 100% of the mark. Next, please. For the electrical and electronics engineering, it is similar to the mechatronic. The individual modules, one in semester 1, EG 7802, advanced electronic circuit design, we have the assessment type will be exam, 50% from the total mark, plus coursework, 50% from the total mark. In semester 2, the individual module EG 7803, Advanced Power Electronics, we have the same exam, 50% plus coursework, 50%. Other modules, all of them will be only coursework, which is cover the whole mark, which is 100. Next, please. For the engineering management, we have 4 individual modules, 2 run in semester 1 and 2 will be run in semester 2. Semester 1, operation management and supply chain management. All the courses, all the modules in semester 1, the assessment type will be coursework, which is covered at the 100% from the total mark. In semester 2, we have 2 individual modules, engineering management, decision and statistics, and financial management for engineers. These 2 will be, the assessment type will be exam. The exam will cover 30% from the total mark, and the coursework will be 70% from the total mark. The coursework include report, for example, plus presentation, report plus presentation, plus poster, or any mixed of these. So other modules like industrial engineering, engineering leadership and enterprise, emerging technology and sustainability, systems and project management, and the dissertation, all of them, the type of the assessment will be coursework, which is 100% of the mark. Next sheet. How to deliver our modules? Our modules will deliver as bulk or teaching bulk during 6 days. Start usually in Wednesday morning, session 1, and then Thursday we have 2 sessions. Start at 9:15 in the morning until session. The morning session start at 9:15 until 12:15, and then after the lunch break we have another session start at 14:15 until 16:15. So sorry, there is a typo mistake here. So we will deliver all these 12 sessions during 6 days, and after that the student will have time for self-study, and they should work on their assignment or their exam during this time, about 3 weeks, and then at the end they should submit their assignment and start the new module. So this is how we deliver our modules. Next, please. So this is just sample of the timetable. So the distribution of these 12 modules or 12 sessions for each modules depending on the availability of the module tutor. So for this reason, not all of them the same distribution, like as you can see here, emerging engineering leadership and enterprise EG 7107 will be delivered in different day comparing with the second one. But at the end, all of them will be distributed during 2 weeks, 12 sessions distributed during 2 weeks, and then after that, the student, they have a break for self-study and to preparing for the assignment, and then they should submit their assignment before starting the new modules and so on. Next slide. Module teaching, 95% from the teaching will be face-to-face in the campus, in the bar campus, and it will include, of course, theoretical, covering the theoretical part of the modules, and run some workshops for simulation, and also do some practical sessions and labs. So all of these will be done face-to-face in our campus in the bar. And sometimes also we maybe need some online sessions for a small number of activities using Microsoft Teams. Next slide. So Microsoft Teams can be accessed by your PC or by your mobile. You can also join the meeting from your PC, your mobile, your tablet, and so on. Next.
Thank you, Rehab. We'll just give you a quick overview of the facilities we have at the university. So we have a number of pieces of equipment. We're not showing you all here, but we're showing you the key ones for your course. So we have Festo manufacturing equipment. So we have Festo Fluid Sim, which allows us to teach pneumatics and hydraulics to you. So you can see that you can practically build elements on here of different systems and see it operating. And there is some simulation software that goes with this, so you can model it and simulate it and then build it on the test rig for real. So it allows us to look at how fluids can be used in a control engineering environment and then ultimately in a manufacturing environment. So for students studying mechatronics in that area, this sort of thing is key for you to understand. We also have the Festo modular production system. So here, this is actually an automatic sorting system. And then after the sorting has been done, it then is a sort of automatic RFID tag system that allows you to pass products down the line and then be able to output them into either international shipping, local shipping, etc. So it's quite a complex system that allows us to demonstrate the type of engineering that's involved in Industry 4.0, and then ultimately 5.0 as we eventually get there. So again, if you're a mechatronics student, you'll learn a lot about sensors, actuators, control engineering, communications engineering here, and how this is all brought together in one system to be able to support a manufacturing environment, and then to move on to sort of products communicating with each other, Industry 4.0, through the web, through the cloud. The Festo equipment we have allows us to demonstrate all of that practically. And then we've got a picture of Rehab here using the system and interrogating it. We also have a number of national instruments, Elvis kits. So we do have some standard electronic test equipment. So we have sort of standalone bench power supplies, oscilloscopes, multimeters, function generators, as you would expect in any type of electronics lab. But we've also moved across into virtual instrumentation. So these National Instruments Elvis boards you can see here, they replicate all the functions of an oscilloscope, multimeter, digital power supply, and it's all done virtually on your PC screen. And we have a number of those in our dedicated electronics lab. And you can build circuits on there. So you can see this sort of breadboard attachment on the top, where you can attach all sorts of different electronic components, semiconductor components, build your circuit up, and you can test it just normally. So you can test it, get the plots for the oscilloscope, the multimeter on the virtual instrument, or you can use Labview to be able to interface into that board and be able to integrate in with the electronic components themselves. So we have an electronics lab, which is kitted out with a number of these National Instruments Elvis products and standard test equipment. And along with that, we've got a number of support boards that go with it. We have the sensors board, the mechatronics board, the power electronics board, and the control board. And we can design several practical laboratories in electrical, electronic engineering and mechatronics engineering to support your studies. Because your studies are not just purely theoretical, there is several opportunities built into your modules to be able to do modeling and simulation, to practically test this out in an engineering environment, which is what you need to do to develop those skills. We also have PLC programming. So we have a Siemens PLC system where you can learn how to program those. And that uses the Synaptic S7-1500 portal and software. And that Siemens PLC is actually integrated within the Festo manufacturing system. So you can actually use it for real Industry 4.0 and above applications. We have a number of commercial and non-commercial simulation software. So we use MATLAB, we use SolidWorks, we use Festo Fluid Sim to simulate on the Festo pneumatic and hydraulic equipment. We use Python programming. We also use C programming language. We use National Instrument Labview, Multisim, and Ultiboard, which is the PCB designer for the package. So we have the Labview suite of packages, the Labview, Multisim, and Ultiboard, and we have PLC programming. We have a number of other engineering software. We didn't put it all on here, but these ones are particularly the ones that you'll come across on your postgraduate course. So yeah, okay, most of you will have come across MATLAB Simulink, but we can model and simulate lots and lots of different engineering systems in MATLAB and be able to analyze its behavior before we go into actual practical testing of it. Labview we can use for process control. So one of the good things about Labview is it allows you to interface into external voltage and currents, if you like. So we can take sensors and electronic components from the outside world, take the output signal, place it into the Labview in graphical programming environment, and use this like an embedded system programming language, and then send outputs on the output to control things. So we have that capability in Labview, and we have the capability to do electronic design, schematic capture through Multisim. So things like comparator circuits, amplifier circuits, all sorts of different electronics design. We can put that into Multisim, and we can use Multisim to integrate into Labview. So we can take a sensor from the outside world, take the information into Labview, and use that for the processing and analysis. We can then send parts of those output into Multisim, do a simulation of part of the circuit in Multisim, and then send the output of that simulation back to Labview and then back out to the outside world. So that suite of packages is quite helpful for what we're doing. One of the other things that we can do, which isn't shown on here, we can take a schematic capture of your design and pass that through to a PCB design program called Ultiboard. And then we can get to the point where you have a full PCB design that can be sent away or manufactured. We have the Festo Fluid Sim software, which allows us to simulate pneumatic, electropneumatic, and hydraulic equipment. And then you can practically take that and build it onto the Festo lab. We have a number of other facilities at the university that you'll be able to use, but we have VR Microsoft HoloLens capability. We have standard computer labs. We also have several Arduino Raspberry Pi kits. If you're doing Python programming, and then you can develop that into C programming. We have 3D printer capability. So we have a Stratus FDM 3D printer, and we have a prototyping workshop and an Ultimaker 3D printer. So we can take your design and then effectively manufacture it using one of these 3D prototyping machines so that you can have a practical realization of your design. This is the general teaching team that will support you. There's myself and Rehab and David, and then you have Professor Shuzhong Zhang, Dr. Pengzi Li, and Professor Raida Al-Rabi. So that's your key teaching team at the university, and we're supported by Tom Hill, who is our technician who provides our hands-on technical support. So we're not a big teaching team, and we tend to have relatively small class sizes, but that means that we can supervise you much more closely, and we can cover all the areas that we're teaching you in our courses. So predominantly we focus in the mechatronics, the electrical electronic engineering, and the engineering management area. And we're now also starting to focus in the sustainable and renewable engineering area for the courses that we want to deliver to yourselves. In terms of how you'll be supported at university, we have quite a well-developed personal tutor scheme. So you will have a specific personal tutor allocated to you throughout the whole of your studies. And that's someone that should be able to deal with the vast majority of questions that you have about your course. And you'll meet regularly with your personal tutor to make certain that how you're progressing through the course, that you know when your assessment deadline dates are, that there's no problems with what you're doing, you understand what you need to do to be successful in your course. You have several module tutors, which you just highlighted who they are on the previous slide. There's your course leader. So for the postgraduate side, it will be Rehab. There's the IT and library services that will be able to support you. And then we have a campus help zone, which is a general area that you can go to ask any academic question that you have if you haven't spoken to your personal tutor, your module tutor, your course leader about. And they'll be able to help you on lots and lots of different areas like academic writing skills, referencing skills, if you need to do those as you come through to the UK. And any other area really, we will have someone available to be able to help you in questions that you have. Student services are specifically there and set up to provide you with that frontline support, also to deal with any finance queries that you might have, any specific counselling that may need to that you may want as you go through your studies, anything related to disabilities or discussing extra support that we can put in place there, and generally looking after your well-being while you're at the university, because we want you to be happy, we want you to enjoy your time here. So there's a lot of support that's available to you to be able to ensure that you are happy with your studies here. There's also your future plan that you will engage with, which helps you to think about and focus on your career moving forwards as you graduate and where you want to go from there. In terms of external activities, there's several field trips that are organised, both for the postgraduate and the undergraduate. An example would be Morgan Cars, where students went through to Morgan Cars to understand how they're manufactured and how they've changed over the years and how they're different perhaps from lots of mainstream manufacturers in terms of their levels of automation. Students have also gone to the Advanced Engineering Show to look at new developments in the area of engineering. And students will shortly be going to the Centre for Alternative Technology to understand the renewable energy and sustainable engineering sector. So we will organise we have organised field trips and we'll continue to organise field trips for you to be able to participate in and get an understanding of some things that are happening in the external environment around you. Another example of what we do is we held the Abb Exhibition event in our engineering area. So I think ABB came to the university and demonstrated some of its leading products and its next generation products for students to have a look at. So I hope that's given you a general feeling for the postgraduate courses, and your main contact point there is Rehab. Rehab is your academic course leader. You have Rehab's email there if you need any further details about what we have discussed on the postgraduate side. We're going to quickly just go through the undergraduate side so that you have an understanding there, and then we'll take general questions at the end. So alongside our postgraduate offering, we also offer undergraduate engineering degrees, so an MEng or BEng honours degree. And the areas that we focus on are electrical and electronic engineering, mechatronics engineering, and then we have a foundation course that helps you to enter onto those two programs. We do have a third program that we haven't listed here, and that's an apprenticeship program, a level 6 apprenticeship in manufacturing engineering. So your degree pathway, if you're taking the foundation year first, that would be a common program between the two awards. At year one, we are totally common between the awards. So whether you're studying electrical and electronic engineering or mechatronics engineering at BEng or MEng levels, year one would be common, because year one is really a grounding in engineering, and we want you to specialize in either electrical electronics or mechatronics on your degree, but we want you to be able to understand more than that as you go through your program. So we would study areas of mechanical engineering, areas of design on there, which are common throughout those programs, and then you specialize more as you go through the years. So in year two, we have a common element, and then we have specific modules for electrical and electronic engineering and mechatronics engineering. So automation and control, electrical machines, for example, will be the difference between the two courses at year two. And then at year three, your final year of the BEng degree, you become much more specialized in either electrical electronic engineering or mechatronics. So in electrical electronic engineering, you'd be doing things like power electronics and power systems. In mechatronics engineering, you'd be doing things like robotics and automation and control. And in year four, if you're taking the MEng degree, you then study the same postgraduate modules, which are on the postgraduate course, the level 7 modules, but you don't study as many of them as if you were taking an MSc program. And this is actually the list of modules that you take for the mechatronics program. So if you're studying the B-Eng, then you'd study level 4, 5, and 6. If you're studying the M-Eng, you would study level 4, 5, 6, and 7. And I'll just quickly run through it. Level 4, Engineering Design and Practice, Principles of Programming, Principles of Electrical Engineering, Engineering Mathematics 1, Engineering System Design, Analog and Digital Electronics, Sensors and Actuators, Mechanical Systems Engineering, gives you a good grounding in engineering. Level 5, the second year, Sustainable and Renewable Energy Systems, Enterprise, Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Engineering Mathematics 2, Interdisciplinary Design Projects, Electrical Rotating Machines, Control Engineering, Mechatronics and Automation Technology. You have an optional placement year between year 2 and year 3. That would turn your degree into a sandwich degree. And then at level 6, you have Operations Engineering Management, Systems Engineering, Industrial Automation Systems, the project module, Mobile Robotics and Mechatronics, and Real-Time Embedded Systems. And if you're taking it through to the M-Eng, Robotics Engineering, Modeling, Simulation and Visualizations, Industrial Engineering, Advanced Group Project, Machines Learning, Emerging Technology Sustainability, and Engineering Leadership and Management. And those are the same modules that you see on the MSc program. So you'll be studying with the MSc students, but studying the M-Eng. For the Electrical Electronic program, level 4 is common. So it gives you a good grounding in engineering. Level 5, we have the same modules, but here we have signals and communications at level 5. So you're differentiating away slightly and focusing much more on the telecommunication side and the signal side. And then at level 6, you focus much more on the electrical engineering side and the electronic engineering side. So we have Operations Engineering Management, Power Electronics, Industrial Automation Systems, your project, Power Systems Engineering, and Real-Time Embedded Systems. And then at level 7, it's Advanced Power Electronics, Modeling, Simulation and Visualization, Industrial Engineering, Advanced Group Project, Advanced Electronic System Design, Emerging Technology and Sustainability, and Engineering Leadership and Management. The detail of the assignments and assessments you can see there. We have a mixture of examination and coursework elements. So we want students to become engineers, really, that are curious, creative, responsible, and collaborative, to be able to have an advantage in today's world, because that is what employers want you to be, and that's what they're looking for when they employ you, to contribute to their company's performance. And sustainability is at the core of all our programs, the postgraduate and the undergraduate. So all our modules and all our courses will have an element of sustainability built into them, because it's an important area for the future. And as I mentioned, we're now developing for 23-24 a specific MSc in the area of sustainable and renewable engineering. But all the courses you go on at the University of Gloucestershire in the engineering department will have an element of sustainability at each level of study, and we do incorporate it in the modules where we think it can add value to it, and it's an important area for us to address in your studies here. An example of that, where our students have been involved in external events. There was a Shape the World of Tomorrow challenge, and our students, our undergraduate students at level 5, our second year, obtained second place out of 130 teams from 26 countries. That was an excellent result for the team, and they put together a proposal about how they could improve the sustainability of a product, and they got second place from a significant amount of entries. We have a placement scheme, so between your second and third year, you can have a placement for 12 months paid work, or there are opportunities for summer placements and internships. At postgraduate level, you don't have the placement for 12 months, but there are opportunities for internships across the summer period with the companies that we engage with in the local area. By going on a placement or an internship, your employability skills are enhanced, gives you greater confidence and maturity, self-reliance, and clarifies to a certain extent your career decision. You'll have an opportunity to work in the sector and in an environment of perhaps a company that you wanted to go into. You'll have had the opportunity to go there, and hopefully that will clarify if that's what you want for the future. Our entry requirements here for international, it's just stated on there. If you're interested in that, you can see that from the slides afterwards. And David Plummer is our academic course leader for the undergraduate side. And if you have any queries about the undergraduate study, please contact David on the email. I think that brings our presentation to a close. And so thank you very much for listening. If you have any queries at this point, I'll pass you across, I think, to either Dagina to take it forwards from here.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Chris and Rehab. Really interesting presentation, and I'm sure everyone learned a lot. I can see we have a few questions, so I'm just going to start with those. And I've noticed there is an interest specifically in mechatronics and engineering management. I can see students started exchanging their contact details as well for those who already applied for the same program, so they can, be in touch and become friends before they even arrive at Gloucestershire, which is amazing. So there is a question from Kishore in regards with mechatronics and whether there is any difference in the course structure between 1-year course and 18 months postgraduate course in mechatronics.
The graduate or postgraduate?
Postgraduate, so MSc Mechatronics.
Sorry, what is the question again?
So whether there is any difference in the course structure between the 1 year and 18 months program for MSc in Mechatronics.
Yeah, we have full-time and we have another option part-time. So for part-time, instead, the student can cover only 4 modules. 2 modules per semester, 4 modules per year. And the second year, he should this is for the difference between full-time and part-time. Full-time, 1 year, 12 months, and part-time, he can do it in 2 years, cover 4 modules each year. But for 18 months, the difference between 12 months and 18 months, 12 months start in September and end in August, the end of August. And 18 months start of January 2023 until next year, May 2023. So 18,
interesting.
Yeah, 18 months, they have more time than 12 months because they have also summer break about 1 month, start from 1st of August until approximately the end of September. So the student have a break, summer break during this time. And in the first year, they will attend with the 12-month program together, semester 2 modules, and then they have a break for 1 month, and then they will continue attending semester 1 modules with the 12 months for the next year. And then they at December, they will finish all the 15 credit point modules, and they need to start working on their dissertation from January, and the submission will be in May 2023.
Perfect.
12
Okay,
months.
understood.
Yes.
So sorry to interrupt. So it's more to do with the start date. So if students would like to complete their MSc course quicker, it's best to come in September so they can complete it within 12 months. But if for some reason they missed out on September intake, there is still a January intake option, which is great. And it also allows students to complete the same program, but within 18 months. So it's a little bit longer for them to study. Okay, brilliant. It's good there are 2 intakes for students, but I'm sure most of the attendees here, if they're students, they're probably aiming to come in September, which is great. And once they've obviously graduated, the good thing about coming to study in the UK is there is a graduate route, so post-study work visa, which allows students to stay for 2 more years in the UK and to gain some experience. Which is amazing. I know, Chris, you mentioned there is no work placement of 12 months available for master's degree students, whilst obviously for bachelor's degrees students, they can go on to sandwich year. But what sort of internships could they potentially apply for during their MSc course?
So the internships would give you the work experience and the opportunity to enter into an employer in the local area and see whether you like them. And they'll obviously, the company that's giving that internship will be doing a similar thing. So one of the positives for them offering an internship is to have a look at the student and yourselves and to see whether it fits. So there's possibilities to be able to gain employment that way. So we are building our internships up. So at the moment, Spirax Sarco, for example, we're just we're arranging an internship for this academic year if we can, but certainly for next academic year, it'll be in place. And we're doing that with a lot of the companies that are on our industrial advisory board. So we have 12 main companies on the industrial advisory board. And one of the reasons why that board is there is to help us to be able to place students in internships and placements with those companies. So we are building a portfolio of external companies that would offer internships so that we know who they are for engineering students. And there'll always be internship opportunities that come around each year through the Partnerships Office that you can apply to, and the standard ones that are happening around the UK that you can apply to, like Rolls-Royce, for example, or someone where they have a standard way of recruiting placement or internship students. But we are in contact with several engineering companies locally to develop that internship link. And it's something that has come through from the postgraduate side this year, that students do want that. They do want to do something in the summer break, and they want to gain that experience and perhaps make good contacts to be able to sort of navigate that next stage in their career where they've graduated. And as you mentioned, it's 2 years to stay in the UK. Having that internship link gives you a good opportunity and a springboard to do something very quickly straight afterwards for a period of time. So there will be opportunities for internships for students.
That's really, really good news. Thank you for sharing, Chris, because there is already a number of programs within University of Gloucestershire which do offer work placement embedded within the program. So it's great that engineering programs would also follow the path. That's amazing.
The only thing I would add, sorry to that, is it's not guaranteed that you will get an internship or a placement, but we do work as best as we can so that you can achieve that. And we'll make certain that there are opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. But like with anything, I guess students still have to apply, go through the process, make sure they have their CV up to date, make sure they can still, promote themselves to potential employers, I guess, from day one, attend career fairs. And I know University of Gloucestershire has an amazing career services department with a possibility for students to have a 360 degree, review of their CV. And the careers department also prepares students for potential employers, interviews with potential employers, and obviously boosting their confidence, making sure they are fully ready. But that's definitely a great opportunity for students to gain those soft skills, to gain experience, which will then potentially help them to jump onto career ladder quicker once they have graduated. Carla, did you want to add anything?
Sorry, the internships are also normally paid. So they are paid internships. So the placement is normally paid and the internships are normally paid, which is why it's more of an interview with the external organisation that is offering you that internship, because ultimately they are paying you for that time that you're with them. So the employer and the applicant, the student, need to be comfortable with each other and working with each other. So it's just like going into employment and an employment contract for that period of time.
That's great. That's great to know. Carla, sorry, did you want to add anything?
I was just going to repeat what I think you said, Dagina, about the Your Future Plan team, who are very sort of proactive at offering support to students to help, increase their career options and, interview practice, check their CVs and things, but also to mention that we have a very experienced immigration team who will also help students apply for their graduate visa once they've finished at the university. And I'm told on good authority that the process is actually quite straightforward, which for a visa process for a change is quite unusual. But we know quite a few of our students already who've applied and successfully got their graduate visa. So we're really pleased that process seems to be quite straightforward, but we have an immigration team who can help all the students with that process if they need it.
That's brilliant. That's really important for international students, and that's a good support, definitely. Yeah. And just wondering, so for engineering management, because it seems to be one of the programs that is being discussed by a few applicants here, seems to be a popular option. What sort of background are you looking for? So what sort of candidates are you looking for? And also once students graduate, what sort of careers they can go into?
We have many international students from different backgrounds. So any engineer from any background, like civil engineering, electrical, mechanical, mechatronic, control engineering, even computer science maybe can also join this program, because it is the business side of the engineering. So it is more general subject. So any engineer can join this program, or computer science also.
Okay, excellent. So various backgrounds could be considered, whether it's engineering or computer science. That's good to know. And
we are on this program, for 2 years, and we have different. This year, for example, we have one civil engineering, and some of them mechanical, some of them mechatronic, computer science, and the last year the same. So we have no problem. At least
that's great.
He should be engineer. He should know the subject of engineering. Yeah.
Excellent. And what sort of careers do graduates go into?
So it is a highly demand degree, not only in UK now, even in abroad. So most of the international students come from India, from Nigeria, from different countries, from Saudi Arabia and Middle East. All of them, it is highly demand in their companies to improve their careers. For example, to be a project manager or project leader, and their current position, they want to improve their position, their current work. They need this degree to get higher maybe position. So it is highly demand, not only in UK, especially now with Industry 4 revolution. Business side is very important now as part of the engineering, and not just technical things.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's to enhance their management knowledge and experience when they already have either engineering or, like you said, computer science background already, and to move up, shall we say, in their career ladder.
I would add just one extra aspect to that. One of the reasons why you're doing an MSc in engineering management is because you want to focus your career in the engineering or technological subject area. So if you want to go into that industry, you typically need to have a technical background to be able to understand how the business is operating, what the products are they're manufacturing or selling. So typically they'll want to have, an employer will want to have some technical skill set there. But then there's other things around that technical skill set, like being able to manage people, lead people, but there's also if you're moving into the commercial side of the business, so being able to market the product, sell the product, not necessarily the hands-on engineer, but be someone that's leading teams, leading projects, leading the marketing side, the product management side. You need a technical base for it, but it also helps if you have a sort of higher qualification that's focusing on that skill set, that leadership, that management skill set, that understanding of how the business operates. And that's what the MSc in Engineering Management is giving you. It's giving you that aspect that you might not have at the moment, but it allows you to focus your career in the technical sector, and you have to build on the strength that you've already got, which is the technical ability. It adds the extra ability around it, which makes you more employable if you want to move around that industry into roles which are not necessarily hands-on engineering, but are related to how the engineering business operates.
Brilliant. That's really helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, I like to mention some of the students in this year and also the previous year, they already have MSc in mechanical engineering or mechatronic, for example, and they feel they need also another degree in engineering management. So they have already MSc, and this is the second MSc, but in engineering management, because it is required from their workplace. Yeah.
To progress within their career. Yeah, that makes sense. That's really good to know. Thank you, Rehab. There is a question, I'm not entirely sure whether I completely understand it. What's the best suitable course for mechanical and civil engineering students? I guess from both UG and PG
I think for
perspective.
the civil engineering, they cannot join mechatronic or electrical engineering because they have no background in these subjects, but they can join engineering management.
So engineering management would be an option. Okay,
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Does the university have its own research center? And if yes, how would it support students?
So we do have research within the school. Our research is sort of centralized within the school structure. So we are part of the School of Computing and Engineering, and we have a research lead for research here, which is Professor Shushan Zhang, who's part of our team. And our research, the students will get involved in, they'll get involved in it actually through their projects initially, through their MSc projects, because some of those projects will be closely aligned with our research areas. So for example, my personal research is in energy harvesting and thermal electricity and power electronics. And a lot of the projects that I will set in the MSc side will be around that area. So one of the first stages that they'll interface into is there. But on the MSc program, you have a specific core module called Emerging Technologies and Sustainability. And that module is actually designed to enhance your research skills. So the first part of the module actually looks at embedding the student within one of our research activities and areas. So within the first 6 weeks, all the students will look at us and all the emerging technologies that are coming through from the different areas like mechatronics, like sustainability, what's happening in business management. And we'll focus on a research or activity that the university is doing in that area. And there will be a sort of practical activity that helps them to understand that research activity and engage with the university research in that area. And the second half of that module is then trying to develop your publication ability from being able to translate something you do in research through to publishing in a journal or a conference. So the second 6 weeks focus on actually taking actually focusing on specific areas. It could be, let's say, energy harvesting, it could be sustainability, and then looking at creating a review paper around that for publication. So you would do the research into the different areas, understand what's happening in that research area, and then you'll work with the tutor to be able to write a paper through the author guidelines that could be published at the end. And it's not quite as easy as it sounds. You've got all the restrictions that publishers have on the layout of the paper, writing academically, and the paper that you'll write at the end of that module is something that you could find on IEEE Explorer as a published paper. So it's written to that sort of level, and that helps to develop your research skills and your ability to publish your work later. You understand the process, you've had experience of doing it. And on that module as well, there'll be guest speakers from industry that will talk about emerging technologies and emerging areas in their industry. So we have a specific module which is there to develop your research skills, if you like, within your subject areas, and you'll engage also initially on your final year projects with the team that are here.
Brilliant. Thank you, Chris. That's really helpful. There was a question from Kishore, who I understand is coming to Gloucestershire to study mechatronics this September. There is a question, I think, Carla, maybe you can answer and discuss the part-time job opportunities for international students in Gloucestershire.
Yeah, we have a job shop which is run by the Students' Union, which advertises jobs within the local community. So I think quite a lot of our students, international and home students, do have part-time jobs. Obviously, with international students, you need to make sure that you're sticking to any working regulations that you might have within your visa, which is usually no more than 20 hours per week during teaching time, during semester time. But I think Cheltenham and Gloucestershire is pretty well equipped in terms of part-time job availability, because we have a very thriving hospitality sector here. So quite a few of students find jobs within the hospitality sector, in hotels or bars, things like that. We also have, as you know, Degina, we're known as a festival town. So we have many festivals going on throughout the year. So those provide options as well for sort of part-time temporary work for students who might want to work as part of the science festival, music festival and things like that. So also I know some students who have part-time jobs within the care sector and maybe do some hours in kind of nursing homes, residential homes, which they can fit around their studies. But yeah, we have the job shop, which will help students look for jobs. So yeah, I think it's pretty, you know, it's pretty common, and yeah, most students I think now can usually find something as long as it obviously doesn't interfere with their academic work. Then you know, the experience I think is great for them to meet new people outside of the university environment as well, and sort of improve English and make new friends as well. So yeah,
I couldn't agree. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, because I remember when I was international student, that was many years ago, but still having a part-time job, it's a good way, like you said, meet new people, not to be homesick, you know, so you don't miss your family and friends back home too much, and develop your communication skills, and a bit of extra pocket money, you know.
Absolutely,
also helps as a student.
And
Gloucestershire is not far from cities like Birmingham, right? So students can also...
Not at all, no. So you can get to Birmingham and Bristol in about 40 minutes on the train. You can get to London in a couple of hours on the train. So we are very well connected in terms of access to other cities too. Absolutely.
That's great. Thank you very much. There is a question from Ajay, I believe. Yep. What kind of entry-level salaries can be expected by students completing Msc Engineering Management? I can see this program seems to be very popular today. Rehab, would you know what sort of entry salaries that graduates can expect
after the graduation?
Yeah, so once they've graduated from, you know, engineering management and from Gloucestershire. I don't know if you have any maybe statistics available, but maybe from your knowledge, where students secure jobs after graduation, what sort of salaries can they expect?
We have cases last year, for example, one of our students, she was a junior engineer in company, and before she completed her dissertation, she got a senior position in another company with higher salary because her degree in engineering management. So of course that helped her to improve her career and move from junior to senior position after she completed. Before even she got the degree, she got this job just because she completed 8 modules from 9 modules.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's great that students secure jobs during their studies, which obviously helps them.
Mechatronic also, we have many cases in mechatronics. Also, they got job before they complete their dissertation last year.
Yeah, and would you say the entry kind of level salaries would vary maybe from £26,000 onwards? I would imagine over £30,000 per year. I guess depends on location as well and company.
Yeah, depending on the industry and also, but 26 may be very low, maybe 30 and above.
30 and above. Excellent.
I think it's a good question. We normally see the statistics for the undergraduate, not the postgraduate, in terms of salaries. But I think that's something that the Rehab and I can work on to understand exactly what our students are getting as they graduate, just so we have a nice figure to give you. I think typically with the information that comes through the university, it would be focused on what the undergraduate average salary is, but they would be higher for the postgraduate side, certainly. And I think that what Rehab said then is probably about right.
over there. So that's a great return on investment, also considering that University of Gloucestershire offers very affordable tuition fee, living cost, and there is also an additional international scholarship award of £3,000. So students can obviously save a bit of money by going to University of Gloucestershire, and once they've graduated, it looks like the earning potential is good, very good. Excellent. There is a question from Kishore regarding the final project. Will we be building our own projects, or will we be working as an assistant with a senior research professor and collaborating with them?
Usually we have, you mean the dissertation module?
Yeah.
Yeah, usually we give the student a proposal, project proposals suggested by our team, teaching team. Each supervisor, he has list of project proposal, and the student has the opportunity to select one of these projects. And this teaching tutor will be the supervisor for the student, and he will guide him during the dissertation preparation time. And also the student has opportunity to attend seminars in the department to see other students' project maybe. And
Okay.
yeah, but if the student has his own idea, he can discuss that earlier with one of the, for example, academic staff, and see if the teaching staff can propose the same idea of.
I think just to add to that, we wouldn't necessarily see the student as an assistant, because the concept of the final year dissertation is that it's for you to demonstrate that you can produce a postgraduate level of work. You get guidance from your supervisor, but really we would expect the student to be driving the program forwards, to being able to understand it, get the results and things like that. So no, the supervisor doesn't really just give them the information, say, just do this and come back and write it up. It's driven by the student to be able to address the problem, that area that they're looking at, and push that through. So for example, in the business management side, one of the MSc students I have this year is looking at the electrification of transport and the impact of that. And so they're looking at what was there before, what is there now, and what the future development will be. And another one is looking at the type of engineering skills that you need to address net zero. So as companies need to make this change on net zero, they've got to change all their processes, how they are doing things. The skill set of an engineer will be different in the future. There'll be some things in the skill set they need which they don't have at the moment. And that particular MSc student is trying to identify what the difference is between what we say an engineer is right now and what we say an engineer will be 5 years from now as we go through net zero change. What skill set do they need, and how do they get the training that they need to be able to address that skill difference? So we give them maybe the broad outline of what it is they're trying to work on, and the supervisor will guide them, but we do expect the student to really take that forwards, work on that piece of work, and then come back with a solid dissertation as to answering that problem.
Perfect, thank you. That's really helpful. There is also a question again for engineering management MSc, whether ATA certificate is compulsory.
Maybe Chris can.
I can't. So I don't know. That's the entry requirements rehab. So it will be the specifics for the entry.
Yeah, because it's not mentioned on the website, so I assume.
I think I'm just trawling my distant memory. I think the ATAS certificate is a certificate that students have to get, and I think they might have to get it maybe from the Home Office if they are studying certain scientific subjects that might have a I don't know how to put it, might be a potentially subject that needs kind of authorization from the UK government for students to study. I don't think our engineering courses would come under that. I think it's things like chemical engineering, and things like that. But we can look into that for you, Degina. I remember years ago that when I worked at another university that did a lot of petroleum engineering, chemical engineering, subjects that potentially could be used for non-desirable things. I think it's something to do with security and things like that, Chris, but we can look into it with the immigration team.
Thank you, Carla.
It's not something that clearly has to be done all across the board, otherwise it would be very visible. So
yeah,
exactly.
We'll check with our immigration team.
Yeah, thank you, Carla.
I can't remember what it stands for now, but yes, I think it's only certain subjects within certain engineering fields that would need
absolutely, I agree.
That certificate. They have to produce that certificate. The same
came to mind from my previous experience. It's only for specific programs that ATA certificate is required, and normally it's specified within the entry criteria, whether it's a brochure website. There's always like an asterisk whether ATA certificate is required.
I think we probably have hardly any, if any, courses at the university within that area, but I will check with immigration for you. I'm just aware of time, Degina, for Chris and Rehab, who might have other meetings to go on to, if there's maybe just one more or question.
I think there's just the last question, whether there are any top-up programs for engineering at Gloucestershire, but I believe it's mainly full-time, whether it's postgraduate or undergraduate programs. Am I correct in my understanding?
Top-up programs. I imagine you're referring to the entry in at different levels at undergraduate. So if you've got an HNC or an HND, then you might come in. But so we don't call them top-up programs, but effectively it's how you enter into the program. So if you have an HNC, you would enter at level 5, that's year 2 of an undergraduate program. We'd take your HNC into consideration. We would look at obviously what it is and look at the correct mapping, but in general an HNC would enter at level 5 on the program. An HND would maybe get a maximum of 60 credits RPO'd at level 5, but we'd have to look closely at what the mapping is.
Absolutely, because it depends what modules they started.
So really, for what some universities call top up, what they're really referring to is just the entry requirements to get onto the course at different levels. So sometimes you'll see people graduating with an HNC or HND or foundation degree, and then the university will advertise it as a top up to get to BEng honours. We effectively do the same thing, but we don't call it a top up. So if you have an HNC or HND or a foundation degree, you can enter onto our courses at different entry points, typically level 5, or maybe a little bit further with level 5 if you've done an HND or a foundation degree. But you will need to do some level 5 modules, and then you complete the level 6 here, and then you graduate with a BEng honours. At postgraduate level, we don't have any specific courses that you would call top-ups, or you'd come in. It'll be you meet the entry requirements, you study for the duration of the course, and you exit with a postgraduate qualification.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Perfect. Thank you very much, Chris. That's helpful. And I just wanted to remind everyone, whether you're an agent or a student, to ensure that you have submitted your outstanding documents as soon as possible via GAS Gateway portal, or contact your business developer or advisor if you're facing any issues or questions, so we can finalize your unconditional offer letters as soon as possible. If you haven't done so, book our suitability interview within InUni Global University Systems. Again, liaise with your advisor or business developer or educational agency. And we are already at the end of June, so we really need to have your CAS letters issued. If you haven't provided the needful for CAS, finalize your deposit arrangements, etc., please do so at the soonest, because I know there are delays currently with visa processing time. So we really want you to make sure you come to Gloucestershire in September without any delay. So do reach out to your relevant business developer, educational agency, or your advisor to finalize your application at the soonest. If you haven't submitted your application yet, we do encourage you to do so, ideally, well, we say by the end of this month, but we can allow a few extra days for last minute applications because we really need to ensure that you receive your CAS in plenty of time and have time to apply for your visa as well. Carla, would you like to add anything else before we?
Yeah, I was just going to reiterate what you said, Degina, that if students are in a position to apply for their CAS in July, please do that rather than August, because we've already been told from the Home Office that August is going to be very, very busy. And our immigration team are here waiting for CAS requests. So if you can get them in July, they'll be turned around a lot quicker. And also, just as a reminder, because our university does start a bit earlier than some universities, so we're expecting students to come here, I think the weekend around the 9th or 10th of September, because I think induction week is the week of the 12th of September, and it's really important that students come to that induction week. If they don't, you can miss quite a lot of really important kind of, induction sessions and sessions meeting your tutors and things. So some universities don't start until much later in September. So if students can apply for their visa, the earlier the better, really.
Yeah, definitely agreed. And we still have scholarships available of £3,000. So,
yeah, those are
like
automatic. Yeah.
You need to confirm your place at the soonest if you haven't done so we can finalize your application process. Thank you very much once again, Chris, Rehab, Carla. Thank you to our marketing team as well. Thank you to all attendees. If you're a student, we look forward to seeing you at University of Gloucestershire this September. Have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everyone. Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you.